Hello, wealthy, successful, money making traders. This is your trader's friend. Thank you for joining me for another video, guys. I'm so glad you can be here with me today. And I'm making this video to answer this question: is trading gambling? This is the third time I've heard this, and in this particular comment, it was pretty much people who love trading don't love God. And I'm here to say that is absolute baloney. I don't know where the idea of being poor to serve God came from. Being poor only means that you struggle to pay your bills, you live stressed out, and you're enslaved to somebody else's ideas, whether you agree with them or not. It's like if you don't believe in drinking and you're forced to be a bartender to make a living for your family. I know that's an extreme example, but there's certain things that go on in corporations that you don't necessarily agree with, but you have to feed your family. So then you end up working for somebody more wicked than yourself. So I'm here to talk about Forex after 11 years, almost 11 years, and what I believe Forex is. The reason I believe Forex is so hard is because Forex is simply a mirror of your own discipline. If you master yourself, then you're going to succeed at Forex. It's really that simple. If you are patient and you have good control of your emotions, or even if you don't, if you can put your emotions in check and you can deal with the psychological warfare in Forex and not take it personally, you're going to succeed. As long as you have a good strategy, of course, and you come into this realizing that it is a game of master trappers. We don't get trapped in Forex by mistake. They herd us into these positions before they lower the boom. So these are the things that you need to know in Forex. And this is the first time that I'm looking at the market since I took all of my money, or mostly all of my money, out of the market. It's simply because I want to answer this question and just add a little bit of my own commentary to it. And I want to say, if you are starting Forex with a limited account, it definitely helps to have someone who can afford your lifestyle through your learning curve. And as a person who's single, believe me, I know it definitely helps if you don't have to pay your mortgage, your car payment, your electricity, your whatever bills you have, your credit card bills or whatever. It helps if you don't have to support your lifestyle while you are learning Forex. And you need to realize too that most of your trade setups are going to yield a limited amount of pips, and that most of your setups are going to be bogus as well. So keep that in mind. No matter how legitimate a setup looks, it can still fail. And that's how they get us, because the setup is perfect. Guys, they can't trick you with a counterfeit setup if the counterfeit doesn't look real. If you recognize that it is a trick trap, you're never going to get trapped. So it has to look real. And you are playing with professional trappers. Keep that in mind. But the idea that a very generous God, and all you have to do is look out of the window, look at the sands in the sea. There's an overabundance. The blades of grass, the leaves on the trees, even all these exotic tastes of food. Do we really need all of that? No, but it is simply a demonstration to show you that the God that we serve and the God who created everything is very, very generous. And God is a very generous God, and you don't have to live in poverty to serve God. There's no virtue in struggling and not being able to afford your lifestyle. Mm, it's just not a very happy idea in my mind. I'm going to leave that at that. Now, this is the thing about the market. It's all so random. Because in the beginning of the Asian session, you might have that good move, but it might take 4 hours into the European session. Then you might get the good move in 2.5 hours in a New York session. And then the next day, it can all flip around. So there is no pattern in Forex. It's very random. You can get the good move on Monday, which doesn't happen most of the time, or you can get the good move, the super move of the week. You can get that one on Thursday, or you might get it on Sunday. There is no way to predict the market. The market is not predictable. It is absolutely one of the most unpredictable things that you're ever going to participate in. And the reason a lot of people don't succeed in Forex is because this is not the way we're trained. From the time we are children, we go to a classroom where we're indoctrinated by a leader who tells us what to do and how to think. Especially in the West, we never have to do critical thinking because there's somebody else to always do that thinking for us. And we are trained even throughout postgraduate studies to work for somebody else. So we're always looking to someone else for the answers. And that doesn't create wealth. So nobody really teaches us how to build wealth. And we go through schooling with this idea of achievement. The person who grinds, grinds, grinds and works the hardest and never gives up. That's the person who succeeds. And when you're working for somebody else, that's true. That's the total opposite of what it takes to succeed in Forex. In Forex, your patience and discipline are what helps you to succeed. You have to be patient in Forex and you have to wait for a proper trade setup. Let's get to the market and take a look at what happened from Thursday to Friday. So you've already seen this chart. This is where I got out of the market and took my money out. So I was literally trading this chart before I took my money out of the market. And this is from Thursday to Friday. So you can see that the market is clearly going up. And I do want to remind you, never buy the market up here. You're only buying the market down here with a proper trade setup, with the with a proper engulfing candle, with a long tail, with a confirmation, something like this. And I will tell you, when I first started trading, you didn't have all of these informative videos that you have now. So the market has actually gotten harder. And the first person, when I started trading, I was studying all of these very complicated mathematical formulas. I was looking at Fibonacci and his lifestyle. I was studying every indicator because I believed if I studied, I would succeed, but I was studying the wrong thing. The first person I think I ever heard talk about price action was, I think his name is Nigel Fuller. I think that's the first person that I ever heard talk about price action. And once I got Steve Nison's Candlestick Japanese Trading Book Volume 2, that is what changed my trading. So I pretty much threw away my indicators. Um, and I got really big into trend lines and that kind of thing. But from that point on, I just kind of threw away the indicators because I was learning to master the wrong thing. And I was trying to master the indicators, but that was all that I was taught. But after almost 11 years, I'm going to say price action is pretty much everything. But your price action is also what they use to trick you. They will trick you, just don't let them trap you. That's the thing. You must eat like an elephant. So when the market is really good, you ride that thing until you blow the wheels off of your car. Period. When the market is bad, you want to crap like a bird, which means you cut those bad trades immediately. And always you are buying in a valley and you are selling at peak, but only with the proper candlestick or whatever indicator you're using, but the proper reversal confirmation. Never buy up here, never sell down there. So, all that happened in the market from Thursday to Friday, you just made an upside down U. That's all that happened. So, once price is going up for a while and you get into the chop, a lot of times, especially if you've had hours in that move, chances are you're going to turn around and go on the other side. But that's not 100%. That's the thing. There's nothing 100% in Forex because sometimes you can come up, you can be in a chop and go straight up and continue in that same trend. So that's all that happened on Friday. You simply just came down, rested up a little bit, and boop, fell down. Now, these are some things that may help. It may help if you go to a larger time frame. For me, the 1 minute chart is my thing. But you can go to a larger time frame. Let's use the hourly, which I don't trade. Um, and you can add that 10 SMA. So you can see this is actually the price action from Thursday to Friday. You just went up and you came down. But the indicators, the moving average actually helped to show where there was a higher probability trade in those setups. Now, keep in mind that most of the time, after you have a good trade, chances are you're going to go into the chop and the wait. Definitely, after you have two good trades back to back, you're going to go into a period of chop. And this is exactly what I was talking about on the 1 minute time frame, where you went up, you got into that period of chop before price continued on in that trend. After you got that good move, you got a good little dip, good little rise. But most of the times you'll see after a good move, you're just going to get the chop. You're going to get that period of chop. And these periods suck. The only thing that this moving average is going to do is to give you further confirmation of the possibility that you have gotten into a higher, more probable trade. So there is that U again. Price in the market, and I know I made this video in the past, that it pretty much does the same thing all the time. You go up, you go down. You go up, you go down. Sometimes you go up, 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 but eventually you go down, 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 down. It's just the market it's just a cycle in the market. But do I believe trading is gambling? Absolutely not. I do believe in keeping your losses super tight because if you get into a situation where you seem to have an advantage, and I'm going to try to find one here. Okay, so there you have this attempt to go to the bearish side that failed, and you got this break and close of that 10 SMA. Once price comes back to close this candle, unless you have it under the previous candle, even if you have it there, chances are that stop is going to get hit. If it closes, and that will be the previous candle because then you enter on that next candle after the break and close. Once price closes that candle, that's simply a trick trap. And now you got price going the other way. Oh, it fails. So that's the thing. There are going to be times when your price action is going to fail you. And I'm going to say this. The only reason people are fooled by counterfeits is because it looks real. You're going to have setups that look real. But keep in mind, one of the things that's going to help you out is if you are buying in the valley and you're selling from a peak point. But then you have situations like this where price starts to squeeze up. And you can look in that price action for clues. Sometimes you'll have bigger bullish or bigger bearish candles that kind of give you a hint to where price is going. But even that can be a trap. So you want to wait until it is a trade that you really feel confident about. And what else did I want to say about this? Well, I'm going to say this. I do not believe that trading is gambling. I believe that trading is simply a mirror of your own discipline. If you master yourself, you will succeed at trading. I want to remind you that you can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Enjoy a wonderful, amazing, pip filled life.